Over the years, we have asked the question, what makes a good leader? Also, we have looked at the traits that make a good leader, analysing great men such as Steve Jobs, Gandhi, and Martin Luther King, asking ourselves, what made these men great leaders? We have various approaches to leadership. There are many assumptions concerning this matter. Society began to focus on the characteristics and traits of good leaders. With this became the trait theory. With this approach, it was assumed that leaders were born, not made. Therefore, it would be difficult to train managers into leaders. The problem with the great man approach is that the idea that great leaders are born, not made. Still, it could be said that great leaders can arise when there is a need for greatness. Also, some of the traits are old-fashioned and can be portrayed as masculine. We are in a new day and age where a lot has changed. Nevertheless, some leaders today still possess these traits and skills, so we cannot rule out the fact that it still may be relevant. Perhaps HR could use the best practice approach if they want to recruit a leader. They would simply pursue people who possess the traits and skills which could be found in a common leader, such as drive, self-confidence, motivation, knowledge, and recruit this person as they have the traits that could be found in great leaders. There are several types of leaders, and it is fair to say that some do not possess the traits listed by Kirkpatrick and Locke. It cannot be said that because a person possesses specific traits, they could lead. Other aspects must be considered to determine if a person is a great leader. Leaders could adopt different leadership styles to suit the situation. There are various types of leadership styles. Just looking at democratic and autocratic leaders, it may be said that an autocratic leader may have full authority over the decision-making. Although they have no control over the team's efforts, they can monitor the completion of the tasks. Autocratic styles of leadership may be useful in situations of crises where decisions need to be made quickly. However, a democratic leader, their group is more inclined to come up with ideas and discuss the best course of action. This type of leadership makes followers more comfortable as they have a relationship with their leader due to the fact that they are encouraged to share ideas with one another. HR could train leaders. However, it is entirely their choice to which type of leadership style they want to use.
Reporting live from the newsroom, we have Jess.
Thomas M. Hughes stated an interesting point by saying that no one form of leadership can be guaranteed to produce increases in group productivity. I would agree with this, as I feel that a leader cannot use one style of leadership and then assume that it works all the time. They may have a vary in their styles in order to find out what would work best. We must also take into account the change of leadership styles may be affected negatively in the eyes of the leader's followers. The followers may not accept the behavior of the leader as they may not usually act like this. And if the leaders are not in favor of the leader's behavior, their work ethic may decrease. They've been believed that effective leaders adapt to situations, stating adaptive leaders select organizational structures best suited to the demands of the situation. I feel that Durbin's point is similar to Lindsted's, as they both feel that good leaders should adapt to the situation as it may be the best way to deal with this.
Back to you in the studio, Jessel.
Contingency approach that matches the situation and leader and evaluates the significance of the situation. A leader could be assessed on how they handle a situation. Leaders are often identified on how focused they are on the task or the relationship they build. Some people may be good leaders because they are determined to complete their tasks and are not worried about the obstacles in their path. Furthermore, leaders that probe on developing good interpersonal relationships would work well with group-orientated tasks, as the group may be motivated to work for this particular leader. On the other hand, this leader may not work so well under pressure as they are reliant on their relationship with other people. Therefore, we could state that depending on the tasks or the situation, these two types of leaders may be suited for a specific situation. Although the contingency plan, there may be some limitations whether the organization could train the leader to deal with a number of situations. In addition, the organization may not know what type of situations they may encounter. For example, organizations will have to consider the competition or the social and political factors that could affect them. HR could use the recruitment and selection process to search for individuals with specific skills and then seek to train them. The training and development may consist of these potential managers being put into various situations to see how they would deal with it. For example, in terms of reward, the leader could be taught using reward in the right way could lead to employee loyalty and increased productivity. If the leader's team have performed well, then rewarding the team's accomplishments would be beneficial than individually, as it reinforces teamwork. Therefore, the reward is an indication that the team's value has been recognized.
Reporting live from the newsroom, we have Jess.
The path goal theory proposes that leaders can affect the performance of group members by their actions. Using the example of rewards, they may set this for achieving their goals and go even further to outline the ways in which tasks could be completed in the best way possible. If a leader is showing their followers what to do and making it easier for them, then they are essentially leading. However, the path goal theory assumes that there's only one way of achieving this goal, which is the leader's way, which is negative, as I feel that the followers may have alternate methods to achieve goals that the leader may not be aware of. HR could teach their leaders to influence their workers by training the leaders to use rewards as a strategy to enhance their performance. A hard-working person could be given a bonus or recommended for a promotion, therefore enabling other workers to increase their productivity so they can also be recognized for such rewards. Also, to maintain high performance, leaders must provide a stable structure, as if there's no chain in command, workers would sense this and it would disrupt the workforce. Also, communication would become difficult as information from leaders would be misplaced or misinterpreted if there's not a stable structure.
Back to you in the studio, Jessel.
HR could send their individuals on leadership development programs which could help enhance their leadership skills and also teach them how valuable it is. CART refers to the role plays as a significant example of development, as potential leaders would be able to examine the meanings and outcomes of this. A great way to train to become a leader would be to study a leader yourself that you may look up to, analyzing what makes them such a good leader, to study whether it is their style or their leadership traits. I agree with Buchanan when he states that in the field of leadership development, you sometimes convene top performers, pick their brains for the best techniques and practices, and organize this into a leadership formula. He was basically stating that there was a best practice model somewhere, you just needed to find it. To study a leader may be the most valuable type of training you could receive, as you get to examine what actions they may take in a situation. Then perhaps you could know what they did well in handling the situation.
We have Jess.
To conclude, in my opinion, I feel that the best fit approach is superior compared to the best practice approach, as leaders are trained to deal with situations using strategies they have prepared beforehand. With best practice, leaders may possess skills of a leader, although they may not know how to implement them. Leaders must assess what strategies would work in certain situations. However, with the best fit approach, it is tough to recognize the factors that may occur in certain situations. For instance, the workforce behavior is unpredictable. By using the best fit approach, leaders have strategies to implement. Therefore, by doing this, they may be able to improve the organization's performance through strategies such as reward and training, to pick a few, as these are ways in which the leaders could build a working relationship with their followers. The leader that I admired was the late Steve Jobs, who I think combined the two approaches and used different styles. Steve Jobs possessed the skills of a leader from building Apple. Therefore, when he returned to Apple after being fired, he reviewed the position of the company and told them to focus on specific products instead of producing random products, which they had been doing. By focusing on certain products, Jobs saved Apple. As a result, the company became more profitable. Here is an example where he had adapted to the situation the organization was in and implemented his strategies to overturn their hardship. He was a perfectionist, wanting every single detail in his projects to be correct. Halfway through his project, he would pause and go back to the drawing board as he felt something wasn't right. Jobs was described as a high-maintenance co-worker who demanded excellency from his staff and was known for his blunt delivery of criticism. He maintained a working relationship with his subordinates, treating his top 100 employees to a retreat. However, he would also let them know if they were not performing to his standard.